Amanda Drew.
John Weiner.
Lauren Rhines.
Brian DiCiaccio.
Rich Sitnick.
All present. All right, we will start with our first agenda item, which is adoption of the minutes from the March 26th, 2025 special meeting. Were there any corrections, any discussion on the minutes?
I'll make a motion. Second.
Any discussion on the minutes? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Okay, so our main discussion tonight is the discussion of the placement of the new swing location, so I should say new school location, not new swing location. This is as a direct result of town council asking us to reassess. We then had 2 meetings last week with the HDC with TSKP, as well as one at Highcrest on the 26th. So I'm going to open that for discussion with the committee. Does anybody have any comments they'd like to make?
I do.
Thank you.
Is this in general about our thoughts of the swing school, or like? should we
Correct.
just
This
jump right
is
in?
us opening just an open discussion on the site. Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
I would say that I am in favor of moving the recommendation to the Kaisha property, but I do want to just reiterate some of the reasons why I think Stillman was a good idea, and maybe perhaps is something we can investigate in the future. Just some thoughts, because I feel like we need to clear the air of just why the relocation of Hamner to the Stillman site is something to think about. For one, the improved traffic flow of a new drop-off bus loop that's not on a residential street seemed like something that was a valuable opportunity there. The improved safety arrangement with the elimination of shared residential property lines, a more cohesive campus feel, aligning with that Stillman BOE building, a more efficient and effective 2-story design of the building, and a creation of an even larger green space in the footprint of the current Hamner building today. So just all reasons why I think it was something that was valuable to investigate, but knowing that what we know now about the Historical District Commission's involvement, we don't want to, I don't think we should be delaying this any farther. And for that reason, I think moving it to Kaisha makes sense.
Okay. Thank you, Kate. Anyone else? Okay. I just had some comments here. Just to kind of wrap this up. So as many of you know, and I've actually said this publicly, mostly at Board of Ed meetings, because I've only been chair here for a little while, but I really didn't have a personal preference as to where the site was. I just know that this project needed to get underway. It's been a long time coming for our town. So, before I was chair, I was still a liaison to the Board of Ed, and I do want to commend the committee. They did a great job assessing the data that was provided by TSKP. They made their recommendations, and here we are reassessing, which is fine also. Because what happened was our democratic process played out a little bit. My old Wethersfield friends and neighbors, as you may know, I do live across from Stillman also. Some of you do know that. They spoke up with passion about that property. To me, it's the property itself, as Kate mentioned, is still good for a school, but personal opinion aside, what opened up for me was the process a little bit. I don't think we've built something as large as a school in the historic district maybe since Hamner. And because of that, with the impairment of a potential delay to the start of the project, it just made sense to move on from Stillman. We have to remember that there isn't a piece of land in this town that isn't going to have some sort of disagreement. Everyone is passionate about their communities, and they should be. I'm encouraged by the amount of support for new schools, even in the light of being against a particular swing school location. I fully expect with this committee's decision that we as Wethersfield community will come together and work together to pass this referendum. We can no longer afford to kick this can down the road. I've said that before too. So with that, I fully support building a new school in the Keisha land parcel. I think the integration of the farm with the new Highcrest school is what really went off in my head as a light bulb to see some possibilities, not to mention the chance of a new field as well to be part of the school construction. That'll allow our sports community to expand its activities as well. As a Board of Ed member, I actually look forward to bringing some agricultural education into our schools, and I think the tie into the Keisha property could lend itself to a nice educational process that we do not have yet today. So if there is no more comment, I am going to motion to amend the swing school location from Stillman property to the Keisha property. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. So the last agenda item is now moving forward. So we now need to adopt the master plan to send to Board of Ed and Town Council to be approved. So that is the next motion for us, to remind the public and to remind us the plan right now, as has been presented by TSKP several times, Obviously, now with the swing location or the new school location being on Keisha, Webb would be second, Charles Wright third, Emerson Williams, Hamner, and then the destruction of Highcrest is the master plan. Sorry, I just moved that. So that will be the master plan that we're adopting, and that's what we would present to both Board of Ed and Town Council. Do we have any discussion or questions?
Do you have numbers yet?
Numbers, that's the next part of this. We have to adopt the master plan first. So we have to present this to both bodies, and then all of that comes before the referendum question is.
Will the presentation to the next body involve numbers or no? Or not at that point?
So Michael says yes, he's nodding his head, and I believe that is all before the June 16th meeting, which is the biggest meeting with the referendum question, right? Yeah. Yes.
We're comfortable committing Dow's resources.
Good.
So our intent was for a special meeting the week of, what was it, the week before spring break.
That's right. Yep, that's right.
Yeah, so we want towards the end of the week, I think, because there was a Board of Ed and Town Council meetings.
Yep.
So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we wanted to come back and present to this committee. The synopsis of the cost model and so forth.
Okay. All right, we'll have to get a date on the calendar for that. Perfect. Thank you, Tom. Any other questions?
So we're going to be adopting just the 3 schools? Or are we going to be adopting all of the 5 schools as the master plan?
The master plan is all of them in order. We still split it up between 2 referendums, right? So our recommendation to Town Council will be 2 referendums, the first one being Keisha, the new Highcrest, Webb, and Charles Wright. That's still the first referendum, and then it's Emerson Williams, Hamner, and then demolition of Highcrest as the second.
Okay, so the-
But we still need to approve the entire,
Emerson, then Hamner.
as of now, correct. Yes, that is correct. Yep.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
No, yeah.
And the costs are, we're talking about getting good numbers for the first 3 schools which will
Yes.
comprise the totality of the first referendum.
That's correct.
And then will there be loose numbers for the second 2, general idea, so we have a handle on it?
Our consultant friends are nodding yes.
The first referendum will be a fine-tuned conceptual estimate from the previous information that we provided. And the second referendum will be more of a range of numbers because it's quite a few years out.
Right. Everyone set? All right, so I'll motion, the second part of this is that in order to get the first bond application in, we need to also name the first phase. So with it now being at the Keisha property, we also, in this, you'll hear this motion, there also is some verbiage to say Highcrest Elementary School essentially as the first part of this, this project. So motion to adopt the master, now motion to adopt the master plan as outlined by TSKP, to recommend to the Wethersfield Board of Education, Wethersfield Town Council, and to name the first part of the project Highcrest Elementary School for new school construction on the Keisha parcel. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, that was a lot. And I was like, my head is like not right there.
All right, erase that tape, we'll
Yeah,
redo it.
sorry.
No, so it's a motion to adopt the master plan
Yeah.
as outlined by TSKP, to recommend to the Wethersfield Board of Education and Wethersfield Town Council, and to name the first part of the project Highcrest Elementary School for new school construction on the Keisha parcel.
Okay. Okay.
Can you just mean the first phase?
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
It is a lot of words. So just so everyone's aware, right, we have to put Highcrest Elementary School on the bond application for the first phase. So it has to be in that we motioned that. That's what that is.
I'll second it.
Okay. Sorry, Rich. New second.
Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. That is all on the agenda today. Anybody want to add new business?
Should we talk about the next time we're meeting, or is that too?
We have to figure that out. So there's a couple things that have to happen. We have to figure out scheduling with Board of Ed, Town Council, and then our special meeting as well. So we'll do that. Yeah, we have to arrange some things with the chairs of, chair of the Board of Ed, Town Council, et cetera. Yeah,
So we have a next scheduled meeting, we'll likely have one before then.
likely. Yep. All right. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone, for coming.